Good morning. In today's parashah portion, Vayishlach, he sent, God has sent Jacob on a journey home with the promise that he would be with him. The reality of this journey is that Jacob must face his past, particularly his brother Esau. Has God ever asked you to revisit a place of your past, an Esau of your own? Perhaps together we can learn from Jacob's experience. Let's see how this unfolds. In Genesis 32:3, Jacob sets up camp and is met by two angels. Immediately, Jacob recognizes this is the camp of God, and Jacob names the spot Machanaim, or two camps. The first camp is his own, yet Jacob recognizes Adonai's camp is with him, just as Adonai had promised. This is a great start for Jacob on this journey, and it's an important reminder for us as well. The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them. Psalm 34:7. Yet facing his brother has not yet happened. Imagine with me what Jacob must be remembering. The last time Jacob saw Esau, Jacob had purchased the firstborn birthright, had tricked his father into blessing him as Esau, and he saw a brother raging with anger, ready to kill him if he had the opportunity. Now Jacob knows that God has sent him home, that he'll face his brother, that God's with him. But what he doesn't know is if Esau has changed or not. Confronting our past, aren't we often like Jacob, faced with memories of the past, unsure what we'll find in the journey, but we know that God is there? So Jacob takes the first step. He sends messengers to Esau with instructions that included, I'm sending to tell this news to my Lord in order to win your favor. Jacob is attempting to extend a handshake of peace, as we are admonished to do in Romans 12:18. If possible, and to the extent it depends on you, live at peace with all people. Jacob likely knows that he is also not physically able to fight the Esau of the past and win. Are we too aware that the things of our past might be too much for us to fight against alone? Are we willing to extend the handshake of peace and allow God to heal our past, and with that, ourselves? Then Jacob's servants return. They inform him that Esau is coming with 400 men. What? On hearing this, Jacob becomes greatly afraid and distressed. Genesis 32:8. What could possibly be flooding Jacob's mind, filling those emotions? Well, whatever it was, Jacob was reeling. But he decided to divide his earthly camp into two groups. In his mind, if Esau came and slaughtered one, he'd have the other. But in the midst of that great fear and distress, he also cried out to Adonai, God of my father Abraham, God of my father Isaac, Adonai, who told me, return to the country and your kinsmen, and I will do you good. I'm not worthy of the love and the faithfulness you have shown your servant, since I crossed the Jordan with only my staff, but now I have become two camps. This is a reference back to Machanaim and God's camp. And then in his fear, he cries out to the one who is his overall protection, saying, please rescue me from my brother Esau. I am afraid of him, afraid he will come and attack me without regard to mothers of children. You said, I certainly will do you good and make your descendants as numerous as the grains of sand in the sea, which are too many to be counted. Genesis 32:12. Can we relate? God asks us to journey to reconcile with our past. In those times, doesn't it seem that even in our willingness to lay things down on his altar, suddenly the lies of the enemy come flooding in, leaving us reeling with fear and distress like Jacob? We try to protect ourselves, but it is also in these times that we too can cry out to Adonai. In my distress, I called upon the Lord. To the Lord my God I cried for help, and from his temple he heard my voice, and my cry reached his ears. Psalm 18:6. And now it's night. After Jacob sends messengers to Esau again, gets his family to safety, he finds himself alone at night with the knowledge of meeting Esau tomorrow. Suddenly in Genesis 32:25, some man wrestled with him until daybreak. Yes, Jacob wrestled with this man until the man told him that it was daybreak and he had to let go. But Jacob held on. Why? Jacob wanted to be blessed. Was he blessed? Yes, in Genesis 32:28, the man asked Jacob's name and proceeded to tell Jacob You will no longer be called Jacob, meaning supplanter or one who steals, but Israel, meaning one who struggles with God, yet God prevails. As day breaks, Jacob recognizes once again the face of God, renaming the place Peniel, acknowledging he had seen the face of God, and yet his life was spared. Have you found yourself wrestling through the night with God? When his way seems so different from yours, or the direction isn't clear, or you're frightened, alone, or you're simply searching? Like Jacob, we can hold on. We can hold on for that blessing, being unwilling to let go until the blessing comes. Psalm 45:6 reminds us that God is in the city. It will not be moved. When daybreak comes, God will help it. Like Jacob, we may find that we have received new names. We are no longer old self, but we are new self, which in the likeness of God has been created in righteousness and holiness of truth. In the morning, Jacob sees Esau coming with 400 men, but in renewed strength, Jacob goes to Esau. Esau, in turn, gives Jacob a kiss. Though the sages or the commentaries say that Esau's kiss was disingenuous, it was a changed heart, at least for this time. Esau eventually took Jacob's gifts, and he announced, "Let's break camp. I'll go first." Interestingly, it is as if his past, Jacob's past, is calling him to follow, to come back. But Jacob requests a respite for his caravan, and as Esau leaves, Jacob goes on to Sukkot, maintaining the steadfastness of Adonai. In conclusion, let's take one small look at Jacob's stopping point at Sukkot. While the celebration of the festival of Sukkot came later, it is a Jewish autumn festival of double thanksgiving. It is a celebration of the gathering of the harvest and the commemoration of the miraculous protection of God. Can you imagine when Jacob reached Sukkot, he realized the miraculous protection of God in dealing with Esau, even thanking God doubly? Like Jacob, as we stay true to Adonai, recognizing all along the way that we are part of God's camp, he will cover us with his pinions, and under his wings we will find refuge. His truth is a shield and our protection. Psalm 91:4. Thank you.